Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Press Play Lifestyle Inspired podcast, where we do interviews with people like Jamie here on topics to help our listeners find the resources, tools, and support that they need to be their best inspired selves. So, how are you today, Jamie?
I'm wonderful, Jackie. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good, other than being cold. It's sunny in Wisconsin, though, which it literally never is. So, I'm going to praise for that one. I'm happy about the sunshine.
Yes, I hear you. I'm in New Hampshire and it's definitely sunny here, but I always look at the sun through the, window and say you're a lie because it's 29 degrees outside.
Exactly. It feels that way. It's so crazy. Well, thank you. I know you are so busy helping solopreneurs get their life together and their business together on a shoestring budget, which probably means you having to charge some shoestring prices sometimes. So I know you're busy, and I don't want to take up too much of your time today. So I just want to say thank you so much for being gracious with your time and coming on our podcast.
I appreciate the opportunity so much. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. So you've got a lot going on, my friend. I mean, just so much going on. Fixyourbusinessnow.com. Um, can you just tell us your story? Like, how'd you get here? What are you doing? How are you helping people?
Oh, wow. So how I got here is a very long, drawn out story. So I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of it. But I started out as an entrepreneur, I'm going to say, when I was 13. Um, I literally helped a lady launch a daycare from home. I helped her start it when I was 13 and I became her helper and everything. And that's when the bug hit me to be self-employed. However, life happens. I met and married a Navy man while I was living in San Diego. That's where I'm originally from. He was from the East Coast, so we relocated up here. And after I realized what a douchebag he was, we got divorced.
I hear that once in a while, but
But then I met the love of my life shortly after that, and he helped me raise our two daughters, and now they are grown and gone and stationed all over the place. One's in Arizona, one is local now because she just went guard. So both of them are in the Air Force, but they've been all over Dubai, Italy, Qatar. They've been everywhere. So
that's amazing. Is your current husband in the service?
no, he is not.
Oh, so the girls they kind of did that on their own. Well, look
Yeah,
at them ladies.
they struck out, and they were young when they went in, but now they're both working on their college degrees, and they're both homeowners. So
Oh, how much that must make you so proud.
yeah, it does. It makes me proud to know that even through our horrible custody battle that we went through, and the domestic violence that they witnessed, and all kinds of, challenging situations in their childhood, and they, in spite of all of that, they're still shining examples of strength.
Oh,
So
you have to show this to them later. That's the most amazing compliment for your girls.
yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I often though it's the mess that we have and the challenges that we overcome that really guide us to our genius, right? They help us through, and then we can help other folks do
right,
what they need to do.
right,
And your girls said, no, we are not going to get up. No, we are not doing it. We're going
right.
to do our thing the right way. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's a amazing testament to you as a mom.
Oh, thank you. My youngest daughter, I say to her all the time, people look at scars as a negative, but if you think about it, a scar means you were stronger than whatever tried to hurt you. And if you think about a scar as toughening of the skin, and a scar on top of a scar on top of a scar is what you can stand on to help other people.
Oh, that's beautiful. There's a Chinese Chinese or Japanese proverb that says that there's an art form of pot making, right?
Insinuatory.
Where like they fill the cracks with
With
gold.
gold.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm more beautiful because of all my broken pieces.
Because of my broken pieces. Absolutely. Because the cracks let the light in.
Yeah.
So it's
awesome.
yeah, and
So you made it through all that though, right? So that's like crazy and a lot of stuff. And you came out on top, and
I
you
sure
and
did.
your amazing husband of 18 years, I believe.
Yep.
And now you're helping other people fix their businesses. So how did that kind of come about from, all that crazy mess and raising big daughters to being 13 again and starting up beautiful businesses with other folks?
Yeah. So I worked for a large educational institution for about 6 years, and I bounced around within it for that time. And I was in tech support, I was in their disability services and admissions. And what I was seeing was the fact that people were so unhappy with what they were doing and not realizing that they had it within them to do what they wanted to do. People bought in to go to school, get debt, and get a job and retire. And they're still buying into it. And that's not the way life works now. I feel like people are hesitant to take that leap, because they look at it as they look at self-employment as something big and scary, and they have to know all of these different things, and they're waiting for the perfect time and the right time. And what this last government shutdown showed me is that there's no time like the present. And if you do not prepare right now while things are really good, you are going to be in trouble when the recession hits. Even if it's just a slump, it's going to hit people very hard. And so you need to have a side hustle. You need to have a passion project. You need to have a business on the side that is profitable. And now is the time to learn and try and fail and get up and do it again. Because if you don't, relying on one source of income, one job, one company is a fool's plan, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we do a lot of mindset work, and we have we both work in a similar industry. And I tell some of my coaching clients who are coaches, I always tell them, like, think of the job as just a big client. And what would happen if you lost your biggest client? Exactly. Right? You want to make sure you have another client.
Right.
And I think that my husband talks about a lot now too. He said it's transitioned from, I think, when we were coming up and going to school and doing things, to be a much more gig-based economy, right?
100%.
And so it's really not that unusual for people to just be like, no, I'm not working for someone else. I mean, you have more control. But I think people find more secure. They think there's more security in working for someone else. But at the same time, everyone's path, you can have any path that gets you to where you need to be. Just know that this is one that is there, right? You can have.
Right. And for me, even if you want to stay at your 9 to 5, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you need to have a side hustle. You need to have different options. People say money doesn't buy you happiness, but it buys choices. And if you have enough money, then you have good choices, rather than, do I pay my rent or get my medicine this month? Those are not good choices. So you have to prepare for when, things get a little rough, and they will. It's just the nature of the beast.
You never know what the thing that makes it rough will be, but
exactly.
We all hit curveballs here and there.
So what I do with my different businesses. I have a print on demand business,
Oh, okay.
and it's blessings, lessons, and bling, because every t-shirt is either a blessing, a lesson, and they all have bling on them. So for instance, and they're very edgy. So one of my t-shirts, my favorite one, has a picture of a panther, and its gold eyes are really, really prominent. And it says, "Your first mistake was thinking I was weak."
Yeah.
And then there's, really, really inspirational ones that said, "You were not sentenced to this life, you were trusted with it."
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
and there's, sayings that I get from all over the place. And that's my creative, that's like my really creative business that I love, passionately. Don't really make a lot of money at it, but it's my outlet. And then I have two arms of a coaching business. One of them is business building on a shoestring budget, where I take you through a 6-week process, step by step, all the way from obtaining your EIN to creating a marketing strategy. So in 6 weeks, you have basically a business framework that you can go out and implement. And then I check in with you, and we do some accountability calls, because I feel like that's one of the things that is greatly missing in the e-course craze that's going on right now. You can sell a $27 course all day long, but if the person is not being held accountable, the chances of them finishing that course are very slim.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, and it's lonely, right? Like being a solopreneur, it starts with solo. It can be
Exactly.
very lonely, and finding a trusted advisor that holds your hand when sometimes you feel like hiding under your desk
Right.
may be what keeps you going
Right.
versus, doing whatever it is you do when you're screwing off
Right.
and
Right.
avoiding work.
And all of my clients say that as soon as they hire me, they get more done than they had previously. Because my first question is, wow, you've had this idea for a long time. Why haven't you implemented it?
Then they're like, ouch.
Uh, and they're like, because I'm always, Vince Reed is somebody that I follow. And I've followed him for about 2+ years now. And he is the one who really jolted me into saying, holy crap, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because in one of his videos, he says, you are where you are because of who you are. So if you want to be something different, you
Do
have
something
to
different.
do something different, but you also have to get other people involved who are different, because your brain has gotten you to where you are. So you have to you have to get better tools. You
Yeah.
have to get different tools. So that's one of the things that I share with my clients is I say, you really have to take a leap of faith and know that if you had it within you to do this on your own, you would have done it already.
Already. Yeah.
So, so that's the first arm of my coaching business. But then the third business, but the second arm of the coaching is really all about storytelling. And what I do is I have Zoom sessions with my clients, and I record a 2-hour interview, and I ask them all about their life, all about their childhood, and I say, tell me a story where you exhibited grit. And then they have to think about it. And, so then I take that 2 hours, I put it to music, I splice it up, I edit it, I add pictures that they send me, and then I package their story in a way that they never saw it before. And that helps their customers and their clients know them better.
That's
Because
pretty cool.
I love it. It's easy to think that you've told your story, and then but you're telling your story through your filter. I'm telling your story through a non-filter.
Right.
And so their customers and their clients, when they see them in that different light, that's what creates that know, like, and trust factor. And it creates loyalty and creates a following instead of a one-time buy, because everybody knows repeat customers is the lifeblood of business.
That's a really cool like offering. Like how interesting, because I know like I'm in similar spaces, and a lot of the current products in the tell your story space are kind of like you had said, but they're like, all right, here's the video, watch this, now talk about yourself, or here's this brainstorm, and their value to that. I mean, I'm not saying
Right.
it isn't, but it's a unique way of like that makes more sense. Where comment when we were preparing a little bit before our podcast, I think people are so much more natural when you just start asking them about themselves. They don't even know greatness is coming out.
Exactly.
But having to like fill out the form and brainstorm, and you write different than you talk, or
Right.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even find that on when I was stalking you. So I have to improve my stalking skills,
It's actually not spelled out specifically because
We don't want to tell them their secret sauce neither.
right. And the other thing that I do is during our pre-interview session, I ask them about who their mentors are, who are some great customers. And then I reach out to those people on that client's behalf, and I get testimonials, and I get what I call truth bombs about that client. And I film them, and I put them to music, and I add pictures of them together. And then I get on a reveal call with my client, and I show them everything that I've produced. And that becomes my testimonial.
That's super cool. I'm digging that all kinds of places. That is so cool. Well, there's like I don't know if it's trending or it's just where I'm showing up in the world right now, but everyone's all about visibility. Like, what's her name? Alina Vincent is talking about, authority, know, like, trust, build a brand.
Right.
Fox is like, oh, you have to brand by association of other rich and famous people.
Right.
HCI, the Health Coach Institute, does this entire thing, challenge every quarter or 10 weeks, 10K or something, all about visibility. And everyone's trying to do something about it, but like visibility is you being visible.
Right.
Right. So
And being
I think this
authentic.
is super cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Look at that. I love it.
It's like being able to hear a story and share that connection with your client, and then give it back to them in a way that they didn't know it even existed. It's the best feeling in the world, but it's high touch, because there's a lot of my time invested in it.
Well, even the interview is a long time, but I can't even imagine the slicey dicey video crazy town. That's got to be. Video editing is actually fun, but it is laborious.
Yes. It's so labor intensive.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Holy mollies. Well,
I
yes,
know.
you do. That's your thing.
Yeah. And so that's why one of the reasons why I don't advertise it as much, because I feel like
It's almost special, right? You want to do like a referral from folks that are
exactly
amazing, that kind of need, want, and can afford like that
right,
special treatment.
right. And the way that I even knew that I had that kind of a gift was I did the first One Funnel Away challenge in October of 2018. And
Nice.
we created a funnel alumni group. And during the aftermath, everybody was freaking out about publishing and telling their story, and everybody was like, I don't have a story. I didn't grow up in foster care, and I've never been homeless. And and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are just reading way too much into this.
Everybody's got a story. I got 110 of them. Which one do you want? I'll
I was
loan you
gonna
some of
say,
mine.
Right. You want the 1970s story? Do you want the
Exactly.
80s story? Do you want the child rearing? Do you want the two daughters 19 months apart story? Do you want the custody battle story? Your life.
Forget. What do they say? Your masters were once a mess too. That's how you get to your journey, right?
Right, right. My favorite proverb that my grandmother used to say all the time is a sinner is a saint who got up.
Ooh, I like your grandma.
Yeah.
I'll write that down. Not
All
kidding.
she's, yep.
Thank you, Grandma.
A saint is a sinner who got up. So as long as you get up, you're a saint. So I just talked to someone in the big, huge ClickFunnels group who was saying he was struggling with sobriety, and he didn't feel like as an entrepreneur he could be open and honest about his struggles. You know, and
that's what people want though, right? They want to relate to a human being.
that's what it's so needed, because the stigma and the shame surrounding it needs to go away. It needs to go away. And the only way it's going to go away is if people speak up and say, yes, I am struggling with this. I'm running a business, but I'm still struggling with this. You know, people say life's not a destination, it's a journey. You have to enjoy the process. But what that means is you have to share the entire process and not just the highs, because technically it's in the valleys that we grow. It's not on the mountaintops. It's in the valleys that we grow.
There's nowhere to go when you're on top. You're already standing up there. I would agree. I am one of the, like, I have a couple, I'm a very, very balanced person, very neutral in a lot of topics. I don't take huge, crazy stances, except for a few things. And one of them is about choices, like you said before. I'm about anything that allows other people choice. Even if I don't make the choice to use that right, I don't want to take it from you. And the other is what we don't talk about, we bring about. And I just feel that so strong. Like I've known so many women who have miscarriages, and then they didn't know that anybody ever did. And it's like 50% of women have miscarriages. Or someone had an abortion and really needed support, and nobody was there because their faith didn't believe that it was something. Or, you know, they've been abused, or they're a survivor of domestic violence, or they've been hurt and some sexually assaulted. And they never, I'm literally, my mom told me about having an abortion when she was 13, not on a choice because she was 13. She was like 62 before she told me, and she said she literally had never spoke the words in her life.
Wow.
And so when we don't speak the words, everyone thinks they're alone in their pain. And there, what'd you say? If we don't show the cracks, there's no light that can come in. There's no light that can shine through. So I'm with you. And maybe this is your mission, right? That storytelling. If people can tell their stories, then other people, like, it's that like law of reciprocity, right? They feel obligated to share something of equal energy, right? Or so if you share something super happy, they'll share a happy moment. If you share this deep, dark, scary scar that you made out of, then people will share that back to you. And if you're a coach, if you're a consultant and you're working on the deep stuff, you're going to have to give some of your stuff up.
For sure. And for me, I don't want to confide in someone and share my deep scars with someone who's never had struggles, you know, because how do you know what I'm going through? Because you read it in a book?
Like, I read a book too. A book didn't help.
I was going to say, I could read a book on vascular surgery, but does that mean that I can perform vascular surgery? Absolutely not.
Let's hope not, right? Like,
right. I mean,
you know, some folks are like that, but I am not one of those folks.
Sure. And I stress with my clients, because you had asked me about the waterfall.
I did. Okay. So yeah, when I was researching for the interview. It was just really cool when I was on your YouTube page. First of all, you have Teach Me Tuesday, which is just super fun and clever. But then you had this waterfall sound healing that I thought, oh, that's really interesting. And I'm not quite sure how it meshes in with the other pieces, but now you're going to tell us. So
Yeah, so I have a client who is a sound healer. It looks like my coaching niche for the business building is the metaphysical realm. So I have
you do a
a,
lot of healers and like coach and stuff like that.
yes, yeah. I have a sound healer. I have a person who heals through light and touch. And then I have a person who helps people build things that help them heal. And what I mean by build things is crystal grids, altars, oh
Oh,
gosh.
neat. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all different healers, but it's all in the metaphysical. And so the one client that I have, that's the sound healer, she does these amazing with big bowls, little bowls, copper
Oh,
bowls.
like the,
Yes. Yeah.
oh, that's neat.
Yeah. And she has a Hertz machine. And so there's scientifically proven different tones that bring the body back into balance. And so it's fascinating. So when she sent me that video of the waterfall, she wanted me to put it together with one of her grief healing sessions. And so I did that, and I just loved it so much that I put it on my YouTube channel.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like a real live testimonial of demonstrating your work, right? Your storytelling work. Oh, how cool. Now I
Yeah,
have to go look at it in a new light.
it's amazing. And she does, she's taught me so much. So after coaching, and you know this because you coach coaches. So after your coaching call, sometimes you feel drained because you've put a lot into that client. And so she's taught me how to sever that connection, the tether, because if you don't, you'll carry it on into the next coaching call or the next whatever that you're doing. So that's a practice that I do. So I schedule half-hour untethering sessions with myself after every call, so that I can go into the next thing, whatever it is, with new, renewed energy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have some friends who are very empath. They're empaths.
Yes.
And one of the things that they struggle with is um,
Absorbing all of,
too much energy. And so sometimes they just need a reset, or even just like to break that connection so they can restore their own energy levels. So yeah, that's interesting. So I have to connect my empath friends with your sound healing friends so that they can get themselves all hooked up for helping folks. That's really cool. I love that.
one of the things that I do for all of my coaching clients is I create a custom box and I send them near the end of our time together. I send them a box, and in that box, there's all kinds of different things that are important to their journey, because it's important to me to teach women how to heal themselves and how to recognize self-sabotaging behaviors, and give them the tools to deal with that on their own. I don't want them to need me forever. I want them to be self-sufficient, because if you're self-sufficient and you understand that power, then what you're going to do inevitably is share it.
Right.
And so there's a ripple effect that happens. When you teach, you teach. When you teach, you teach. And so it's important to have some tangible things to remember just how badass you are. You came through that, and so I give them a t-shirt with their logo on it. I create a dream cloud with all of their affirmations that we've come up with. And I put it on a canvas, so they get all of these things that are
Nice.
specific to them. One of the things that I struggle with is people are so worried about their brand and their marketing and the recognition that they need, that they're forgetting that when you are marketing to someone, what's the one thing that that person loves to talk about more than anything?
Themselves.
Exactly. So when
Exactly.
you market to them, what you should be doing
Just talking
is,
about them. Yeah, I know. But I think it's like, it must just feel unnatural to them or something, right? I
yes,
mean, because you don't, like, they always tell you don't talk about other people, right? You only can talk about your own stuff, your own things you own. But if you're trying to sell your services or sell yourself, the best way to do that is not really be out there about you. Except for like your storytelling, but it's
right, it's
still a
different.
storytelling and a story that would help them get through something, not
Exactly.
you shared it because you needed to know, like brain dump on somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm taken back by how many um, offerings and blessings that you are just sharing with the world. So in our show notes, just in case anyone's panicking, we're going to have all of your different resources in there. We're going to have the fixyourbusinessnow.com. We'll put in links. You've got a bunch of really great Facebook groups, the blessings, lessons, and bling. So we'll make sure we have all of those ways to reach out to you. Your YouTube channel, so they can check out the cool waterfall healing in the show notes. Is there anything you'd like to leave the audience with? Any kind of either like current thing you're working on, or even just a little like grandma's story of the saints and sinners? Anything we can part words with our audience on?
Sure. When you're looking for healing and you don't think that you have it within yourself, this is going to sound really silly, but get a dog.
I love my doggies.
Because a dog's unconditional love is something that will help you get out of bed, that will make you smile, that will make you laugh, that will help you see the beauty in the world. Because once you connect and love that dog, you're going to want to be a better person for that dog. And it sounds silly and
I have a
true.
friend who's a author, and he's a ER physician. His first name's Byron, and like so he's like, I was like, you write? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. He's in his late 70s, and his wife is gone, and he decided to retire. And I was like, you're retiring? He's like, yeah. I mean, he's like, things are starting to be, I shouldn't be cutting up on people anymore. I was like, okay.
Good call. Good
I was
call.
like, good job, right? But he worked well past when other surgeons do. But he got a puppy, and I was like, a puppy? And he's like, well, yeah, I got to train it how to be good. He started a blog about Byron and his dog, because he's like, otherwise he's been so busy in doing his whole life, and he didn't have anyone left to love, or anyone left to love him. And so the dog changed he turned into he's already a neat guy, but just so much more loving, so much more loving. And he's blogging about his dog. We're reading about all of this. Like, this is so cool. So I'm with you. I believe it. I believe that you're right.
Right. And the depression and anxiety that a lot of entrepreneurs in general go through because they are going through everything alone and trying to build this business, and it's difficult. You need to take that time to, like you said earlier, fill your cup. And a dog will 100% do that. They will give you every ounce of love and attention that you need and want. Now, I'm not against cats, so please don't yell at me. If you're a cat person, awesome.
Get a
Any
cat then. A nice cat, though, that doesn't like flip you off every morning.
Right. And that's why I'm like, I'm a dog person. I can't have something little in my house looking at me like I'm a visitor or that I owe them money.
Exactly. Like, I do not owe you any money, cat. You were so much fun. Well, thank you again. I just had so much fun with you. I wish I could talk to you all day long. Maybe I will be able to come chat with you on a storytelling episode, but thank you so much. We'll make sure all of your goodies are in the show notes, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you so much for having me, Jackie.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.